faded down.
Good afternoon, welcome to Solent Sports News. I'm Harvey Leonard with your 2pm bulletin. Jos Buttler has spoken ahead of England's visit to South Africa in just over a week's time. The vice-captain hopes his experience in an IPL bubble will help him adapt to the unique trip.
A few of us have obviously taken part in the IPL and been accustomed to that, so it'll be much the same, I'm sure. And obviously South Africa's a great tour. We won't get to fully enjoy it as we usually would, but I think everyone's come accustomed to what it's going to be like.
Conor McGregor looks set to return to the UFC action at the end of January. The former double champion and his expected opponent Dustin Poirier are both thought to have accepted fight agreements. We spoke with MMA coach, commentator and host of MMA Uncaged TV Ian Butlin and pro fighter Jamie Hay on McGregor's return.
It's Conor McGregor that's made it so that the guy in the pub knows about mixed martial arts, whereas it was, it might have been a fringe sport before. He really got it into the mainstream.
I think Poirier's in for a real rough ride, to be honest with you. I think McGregor's just far, far superior in the striking, and I can't see it going to the ground, really can't.
Lewis Hamilton's former teammate Jenson Button says he expects the Mercedes man to keep on winning after the Mercedes man achieved a record-breaking 7th Formula 1 title.
He wants to win more world championships than anyone else, I'm sure, and every driver would love that. Drivers always say we don't look at numbers, we don't compare, but Lewis is in the right place to beat Michael's record, and I really do think he will next year.
England will look to bounce back from their 2-0 defeat to Belgium as they face Ireland on Wednesday in their final Nations League group match. Manager Gareth Southgate could be without Jordan Henderson and Ben Chilwell after both suffered injuries on Sunday. Jack Grealish, however, could feature again after impressing Southgate in his first competitive England start.
He took the ball in tight areas, his techniques were good, he took players out of the game. We knew he would buy a lot of free kicks, which of course he did. I just thought he was outstanding and he should be absolutely delighted with the way he played.
Elsewhere in football, Eastleigh will look to further push into the National League's playoff places when they return to action tomorrow night, after missing the opportunity to do so against Hartlepool at the weekend. That match was called off at half-time due to torrential rain. The Spitfires will host second-place side Wealdstone at the Silver Lake Stadium as they look to close the gap on the visitors. Back to international football now, and Scotland manager Steve Clarke has urged his players to stay positive as his side look to nail the top spot in their Nations League group match against Israel on Wednesday. Clarke's side missed the chance to do it after a defeat to Slovakia, but he insists heads won't drop after the setback.
It's a defeat, but it's not a backward step. I think we're still on the right path, and it's important to remember that. We still want to win the Nations League section that we're in, and we have the opportunity to do that and finish the section well on Wednesday night in Israel.
Rory McIlroy says he's happy with his performance at the Masters and is relieved to have gone into the famous event without thinking of winning it. The Northern Ireland golfer suggests his laid-back attitude at the tournament has helped him return home more relaxed than ever before.
Definitely not as much anxiety or stress and I think it's been easier as well. I get home after I play and my attention's completely turned to something else. It's not really on the golf. I can sit there and play with my daughter and completely get my mind off it, which is nice.
Fans and athletes at next year's Olympic Games in Japan are likely to need a COVID-19 vaccination to be able to attend, should one be available in time. The Games, which have already been delayed by 12 months due to the pandemic, will be hosted by Japan for the second time, and the president of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, wants visitors vaccinated out of respect for the country's people.
The IOC will undertake a great effort so that as many as possible of the Olympic participants and visitors will arrive here vaccinated if by then a vaccine is available.
That's all from us now. We'll be back at 3 p.m. for another afternoon bulletin. Remember, you can keep up to date on our website, solentjournalism.co.uk.